Good evening, chat. Hello. How are you guys doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm sorry. Bumped the button there. Sorry about that. Trash day was late because we normally have Thursdays. So I had to put everything out and I forgot to go get it. 2.0 was like, "Can you do it before you start?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll get to it." And before you know it, it's like 10 after 8 and you're like, "Ugh, I better get that fixed." So, sorry for running late, chat. It's a goddamn garbage Keons. The Herbie Kirby's got me. So let's get started on this tonight. We've got a bit of a double feature here. This isn't going to be a super long case or super long things tonight, but there is some funny stuff out there. There is some funny stuff we're going to get to involving Russel Greer. Russel Greer is trying to file that he has a secret. And then it looks like Kaceytron and Frogan. Well, Kaceytron obviously says she's trying to surrender. But it's been a while for Frogan. And there's still no response from her. So I think Frogan's getting ready to toss in the towel here too. And I'll explain why, and we'll talk about why. And there was something that somebody brought up on the forums. It was a good question or a good idea. But I'll explain why it's probably not the case. Probably not the case. So let's get started. Tonight after this, guys, we will be hanging out. We got some painting to do on some things. We're going to try to, and I will point out after we did, this is the, Ferdinand or Elephant, whichever we wish to call it, tank destroyer we had worked on. After looking at this in the red, I have some ideas that initially a way back we tried to do I was working on some ideas about learning how to make bricks and whatnot. I got some ideas that we're going to try tonight, in addition to painting up a nice little Nazi guy that we got printed out. That's kind of like a bigger scale. And we're going to take a look at, we're going to try all that tonight. So we'll do that after this is over. We'll probably listen to the casino while we do it. That's a game plan for tonight. You guys want to see pussy? And then Randy Robinson is saying, "Sean, I have the family watching. Please make them uncomfortable." Of course. Thanks for the super chat. I am blowing out the mic? Really? Am I blowing it out? Headphone users rip. I can hear. Hold on, chat. No, it's the right mic. It's still the right mic. Was Frogan still dodging service? No, Frogan hasn't dodged service. And let's see here. Casino's live in like 10 minutes. Yeah, but it's all garbage. And then, the first 15 minutes really isn't a show either. Let's be real. They're commenting on stuff. It was only when you yell at the beginning. I was yelling at the beginning? I didn't really think I was, but okay. All right. Well, that's all right. We'll get started on this. So, the first thing that we have, and I guess we'll start with the Russel Greer stuff first. This is, God, who sent me the link to this here? It just came in now. Somebody DM'd this to me. This is fucking hilarious. So, this is from a YouTube channel from Natalie Banks. And Natalie Banks is, you guys don't know, Natalie Banks is a sex worker, meaning she a hooker out in Nevada. She says she's based in Northeast Ohio. I don't know if she is anymore, but at one point she I think she was out in Las Vegas, because she starts this off with, and just listen to this here. What was it saying? I clipped out. Oh, my audio sounds a bit off tonight. Oh, geez. Well, that's no good. My gain is high. I mean, I didn't I don't change stuff, so I don't know what happened. Vodka Blood says, yeah, I guess it's got aired on Maddie today by Null. Someone said this to me. This is so funny, the beginning of this. So here we go.
Okay, so quick disclaimer here before I start this video, because the person who I'm making this video about, like, he is very, very litigious. Not that I'm worried. I'll explain later, okay? This is probably going to be a multi-part series because it is a long and rambling story, but the payout at the end is very, very worth it.
Gee, I wonder who's very litigious. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat.
I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time, but, you know, since I was working in legal brothels and I didn't want to attract the rage of this unhinged lunatic.
I love how you just list all those things out. I love how it lists all these things out. Yes. Shredder says, oh, Lord, it's about Russell. Of course. Who else is going to be about? Of course, it's about Russell Greer. Now, it would be funny if she said, use the promo code Russell, and you'll get 10% off when I escort. Who is Dennis Hoff? Dennis Hoff was a guy who ran a couple of brothels out in Nevada. So this is her talking about when she was out in Nevada, and she's all the things here. It's like, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's all Russell. It's all Russell. So here we go. Let's listen to just another minute of this.
Towards my places of work or myself while he was in close physical proximity to me.
Although she's in Northeast Ohio, it says. I'm checking this out, chat. Here we go. She says she's in Northeast Ohio. Like, I wonder if she'll come on and talk about Russell Greer a little more in depth. Maybe. I don't know. Be kind of interesting. She British. Nah, she's not British.
I held back on this, okay? So yeah, since he is very litigious, I will not be using his name, and I will be double, triple, and quadruple checking this video before I post it to ensure that that does not happen, okay? If the dude chooses to show up in my comment section and identify himself by freaking out and trying to defend himself.
The sad thing is Russell Greer probably would sue this woman. Russell Greer is that big of a bitch. But also Russell Greer has a thing for terrorizing women, so I mean, and harassing them and griefing them, basically. So the sad part of this is I truly believe he would, and I understand her concern of, like, I don't need this fucking lockjawed, drooling weirdo to come after me. Makes sense. I do understand that.
That would be on him, not on me, because I'm not even going to include his real name, okay? All of the information, though,
his real name is Russell Greer.
Know about this guy is all public information through a bunch of different court records, news articles, his own social media posts, and interactions that I've had, like via email and like Instagram DMs between the two of us. Okay, so it's like none of these things are, you know, like private information. Okay. Literally any person can very easily find it. And
so anyways, basically it's all about Russell Greer. I know Josh went through it more. I also don't want to take away from her stuff. Her name again is Natalie Banks, and she talks about, you know, her time in the industry and doing all her stuff. So if you want to find her, go find her at Natalie Banks. So that's the funny part here. Greer very much relies on the process of the punishment. Yes, he does. And Quippy's Revenge says, I'm not afraid of the smoke at all. Not from Russell. No, fuck him. Fuck that little worm. So, but anyway, so we're going to start off with Russell. And when we left off, guys, you know, some things had happened with Russell, but not a lot had happened. And where we are now for Russell in his case against the Farms and Josh Moon, Moon, spelled Moon. Remember, he's suing for contributory copyright infringement because some people use the farms to host information and host Russell Greer's videos and his book, saying, hey, here's a link to Google Drive. And Russell's suing them for contributory copyright infringement that he didn't stop it. And because he let it put there, well, that's wrong. And that's wrong. As he does it. So Russell sued. Remember, this went up to the 10th Circuit. It came back. So we're still dragging on. We're still dragging on. MLS says, is that Sal's girlfriend? It might be. Might be. Yes. Anyways, hello, David. And then Kurt. I want to say hi to Kurt. Kurt from Uncivil Law, friend of the show, friend of the channel, friend of mine, hopefully a friend of yours. Kurt says Kaceytron and Frogan probably wish they could surrender. Well, we're going to get to them next. Like I said, this Russell stuff's not going to be too long. We're going to get to it here, just kind of get an update on things. So as we look at this, guys, here's where Russell Greer's stuff was. And when we left off, this is on Pacer. So this is the court filing, electronic court filing system the government uses for court cases here. And what we have at this point is basically everything that's happened so far. And yes, even looking this part up does cost you on Pacer, which is ridiculous, but it is, c'est la vie. C'est la vie. So anyways, we had gotten up to this point. We had gotten to here. And then for everything from here, from the 10th on down, is new to us. So we're going to catch up. We're going to catch up real quick on all these filings. And oh my gosh, they all just... Where are... So remember, Russell Greer had to pay sanctions. He was ordered to do a lot of things here. Russell Greer hasn't done any of that stuff. And of course, I mean, it's not really a shocker that Russell Greer didn't do any of that. I mean, like, I'm not surprised. I know you're not. And from here, why are these in the wrong order? That's okay. No, they're in the right order now. I hate this when you touch these things and the documents pop up in the wrong order. It's just a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. So here's what's going on. And Russell, obviously, as I stated before, he's pulling his target card of saying, no, I didn't do it. That's not right. And from here, it just starts snowballing for Russell. And we get to what he talks about today. So remember, guys, this is when Matthew Hart had filed a status report. What did he talk about in this status report real quick? Oh, Hella. Hello, Hella, and all the Hella Raiders. Hella crazy. Thank you, guys. Hella rates, sorry, in advance. Thanks. Thank you. And then real quick, Radcon Hazard says, defund Pacer, Sean. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Remember, nothing is asked for. Nothing is expected. Anything you guys do, I appreciate any level of support, whether it's merely liking, unliking, whatever it is you do, I appreciate. So thank you so much. Anyways, this is the quick status report. And this goes back to a couple things Russell Greer had to do. Remember, there's a bunch of stuff out here pending Russell Greer has not done that he's expected to do. One of those is to get the restraining order he claims he filed against Josh Moon in 2018. He still hasn't done it. You know, on October 16th, Russell said he needed 30 more days. At that point, Russell kept on asking. Matthew Harden asked Russell Greer about it on November 4th and November 5th. Russell Greer didn't respond, and on November 7th, Russell, and this is the thing Hart had said, he received an email from the Utah Administrative Office, and it says the court staff indicated Russell Greer had not responded with them since May of 2025. And their records do not reflect a request for copies was ever fulfilled by Russell Greer. Uh-oh. Wow, Russell, it sounds like you lied. And yes, Josh Moon and Matthew Hardy cannot obtain them because it's filed under seal. All they can get are just basic docket documents. And remember, Russell Greer said he'd be happy to provide them. And he has obstructed access to those documents and refused to comply. And then, as he indicated he would in October, he said, I need more time. And they said, okay. So nothing has happened. And this is just the status report. Here are the emails. That was everything that was filed there. And Matthew Hardin says, hey, Russell, can you let me know what's going on? When do you intend to get the restraining order? And what steps have you taken to locate or produce it? And, Matthew Hardin gets is on the 4th. Hey, Russell, can I, please help me find this and what's going on? And as this goes on here, this is just going, it just goes and goes and goes, chat. So here we go. It starts taking off. And Russell says, and this is where Matthew asked him what's going on. And Russell's like, hey, I misspoke. My message wasn't a sworn statement, but an informal effort. I was going to do it until I saw the $80 fees, and he can't afford it because he's broke. Russell's the brokey. Russell is a brokey. And then this is the fun one here, chat, from the Utah courts. And it says, Mr. Hardin, the only thing we found was the time period of October 2024 to October 2025. We searched. There's no record of Russell requesting anything from our office. Another lie means more sanctions. More sanctions at this point. It is just going to start. Guys, remember I said Russell is just cruising for a bruising at this point, and it's just piling up. It's just piling up on him. And, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So, obviously, Russell responds, and he, in his trademark, dead not true. Russell decides to respond, and Russell Greer, in his best, that's not true, responds, and he responds to Hardin, and he responds with his own status update response. And now this is Russell just going to go, Your Honor, I'm inside. How long do these sanctions level up to contempt? They won't level up to contempt, but eventually at some point, when you get enough sanctions, the only sanction is the case is over. Eventually, if you keep getting penalties, the court just says, fine, we're done, you're out. Now, it hasn't happened yet, and it's very frustrating that it hasn't happened, and the court keeps dragging this on, and it gets annoying. It's getting very annoying, but that's the thing here. Sanction Russell like the U.S. sanctions Iran. Well, it's like Iran gets around those sanctions, so they're not that effective. Really, what's killing Iran is the fact that they're in a drought, and they're like, all their dams are like getting dry. So that's the bigger thing for Iran. But enough politics for today. So Russell says he wants a procedural clarification. He says he requested 30 days to obtain the restraining order. The court has not ruled on that request. Because no order has issued, granting or denying the extension, Russell remains uncertain whether the compliance period has been extended. When you file for something, you still need to keep working on it. And if you don't receive word, well, I could argue it's your duty to follow up with the court, but until you're told otherwise, you need to get on your ass and keep going. Like, because it's been extended, you need to be working right now. Like, he should be already getting this, and he should have it ready. Because for whatever reason, it didn't happen yet. Okay, great. Let's say the court grants it tomorrow and says, we grant you 30 days. Well, the court might say, I grant you 30 days from the 16th of October. So if you've been, no, that's not how the court will do it. The court will give them more time. But you should be getting it done, Russell. You shouldn't just be sitting around on your hands. He's already, and yes, he's been ordered to do this like 5 times already. So why aren't you getting it done? Why aren't you getting it done? He says, therefore, he's hesitant to expend resources, meaning $80. Russell can't spend $80, chat. $80. No. $80, because he's broke. To obtain the record when doing so could still result in sanctions. if the court determines there was no extension was authorized. Here's the problem. It's still going to result in sanctions. And you know what you have to do? You still have to do it. You still have to do it. That's the thing. In a situation like this, you're still going to be ordered to do the thing. So even if you get sanctioned, and even if you don't comply, the court will order your compliance. The court will order your compliance, so you're still going to have to deal with it. You're still going to have to deal with it. More importantly, if you're seeking clarification before taking further steps, when you're seeking a clarification, chat, this is just a practitioner tip. You do it right away. You don't wait you don't wait over a fucking month afterwards. You don't wait 45 days later and go, no. If you filed something in October, if you filed for an extension and the court hasn't responded right away, you should file a request for clarification saying, Your Honor, could I have a clarification on this? You don't wait till after somebody starts calling you out. But even then, if you're ordered to comply, get the compliance done. He wants to avoid unnecessary costs or duplicative effort. You're the only one who can get them, Russell, so nobody else can do it. There's going to be no two people working towards the same objective. He says relevance and procedural posture. And once again, I think Russell's clearly using AI at this point, but double spacing and double spacing the double space is ew. Ew! Russell reminds the court that in February 2025, he filed a motion seeking reconsideration of the discovery order, compelling production. That motion explained the document is unrelated to the underlying copyright claims, and that any delay response resulted from stress, confusion, and misunderstanding rather than willful defiance. But you're the one who brought it up, Russell. You brought it up in court that the farms is harassing, that the farms is the hardship. You said that repeatedly, the farms is the hardship. Well, guess what? We're dealing with the hardship now. We're dealing with the hardship now. You have to do it. He's broke. He's a lol cow. Let's see here. Ashley Princess says, how could you get a TRO against someone who's never talked to you? I still don't get that part. I don't either, but that's one of the reasons. The reason why I never got granted there are service issues, but I'm sure the court would have struggled with that once it got to that point. The thing is, it never got to address that issue, Ashley, because the court was like, well, you can't do anything about this because we don't have anything to go on. So for Russell, this doesn't, it got filed, but it was never in effect, if that makes sense. And I hope that does. That's kind of what we're looking at here. So it's got filed, but it never had any effect at all. Could Russell get in trouble? Yes, he can get in serious trouble, but we've seen so far what happens to him. Not that much. Not that much. I mean, let's be real. Let's be honest. He's not getting, oh my God, glow's so bright. Jeez. I gotta figure out how I turned on the fucking shine on this thing. Oh, well, that's not good. Turning it off. Oof. But yes, he could get some serious shit for this. Anonymous says, stop being humble, take my money, friend. Also, did you see the Greer stuff Josh spoke about today? No, I did not. No, I did not. So I don't know what he said, but I'm kind of curious. So, Bonbon's in trouble. Oh my God, that's as low as I can get it. Okay. All right. That's what we'll do it. We'll do it live, chat. We're doing it live. All right. So that is where we leave off things. Russell's keeps on trying to say, well, this isn't a big deal here. The plaintiff was surprised the court did not reverse or modify the prior ruling. Why? Why are you surprised, Russell? It's because you're a retard. It's because you're a retard, Your Honor. Bonbon and Clyde are busy making puppies. I don't know what's going on out there. Bonbon's causing some trouble today. She put a Tootsie Roll in the laundry room and I stepped in it. So that was fun. That was fun. All right, this dispute has since expanded into a sanctions issue rather than a substantive one. Yes, this typically happens when you start fucking lying, Russell. So you don't lie, because it takes little problems and makes them big problems. Meanwhile, defense counsel's conduct, including copying a relative of plaintiff on case correspondence, has gone unrebuked. I'm sure, and ultimately, as much as I did not talk to Matthew Hardin about this, but I think that would have been a great way to have your dad browbeat you into saying, son, what are you doing? Stop. Because if you will act like a child, he has to speak to your father. Plaintiff further notes he has refrained from corresponding directly with Hardin because prior communications have been met with hostility and in several instances later appeared on the farms. Oh, no! No! On one occasion, plaintiff inadvertently replied to counsel from a private email address and was subsequently circulated in that forum after being shared by defendant Moon. Okay, well, that's your fault. That's your fault, Russell. OPSEC, motherfucker. Since the individuals have repeatedly contacted, once again, this is Russell just airing out his tampons again. Reusing the same soggy tampons, keeps ringing them out. In May 2025, Hard contacted individuals located in Nevada who had no connection to this copyright matter, causing embarrassment and unnecessary reputational harm. I'm pretty sure you showing up like a retard is all the harm that exists. Such conduct appears inconsistent with the ABA model rules. Fuck the model rules. Which is good. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, Russell. Plaintiff has likewise grown hesitant to respond with Hardin after counsel assailed him. Oh, no. Chatty assaulted him with words. Merely because plaintiff used the term draconian from an actual valid case citation. That unwarranted disparagement. You're a fucking retard. How about that for disparaging? You drooling, slack-jawed fuck. Exemplifies the hostility plaintiff has experienced in routine communications. Especially now discovery is closed, there is no legitimate reason for further informal email correspondence. If plaintiff believes that all future things should occur solely through formal court filings. So if Matthew has a question for you, does he have to type it up as a motion and send it in? Is that what you really want here? Because that sounds, yeah, I don't think it's going to work, Russell. Plaintiff respectfully seeks to only accept direct email correspondence in connection with potential settlement discussions. They're never going to fucking settle, Russell. Matthew Hardin is going to own your soul before this is done. He's going to own your soul. There is no settlement. The terms of the settlement, Russell, are now how much dick you're going to take up your ass. A little bit or a lot. You get to choose. You get to choose. Or specifically ordered by the court. Moreover, defense counsel has not demonstrated why he, as a licensed attorney, is unable to request the record through appropriate channels because it's sealed. Plaintiff previously submitted a notarized request to the clerk to obtain the document as required. Counsel has made no showing he has attempted a similar process or that such a request would be denied if made. So once he does that, what happens then, Russell? Because it's under seal. You're the only party available to it. It's unclear that the record is categorically unavailable to him. Plaintiff should not be sanctioned for a defendant's strategic choice to refrain from pursuing ordinary means of access that counsel himself could employ. Well, they've already made it clear you can't, Russell. Plaintiff emphasized he made legitimate efforts. He submitted a notarized request to the state court where he learned the retrieval fee would be approximately $80. I still don't understand why it's $80. I still don't understand how getting docs cost $80. He sought clarification from this court on whether cost shifting might apply. I mean, look, he's so fucking poor. Fucking $80. He's too stupid to realize how, for a man who's obsessed with not looking like a retard on the internet, you want to get money, Like, you can't afford 80 fucking bucks. It's cost shifting. Yes, Russell. If this were a multi-million-dollar discovery where data tapes and, like the actual magnetic tapes have to get pulled and data has to be retrieved, like, yes, there could be cost shifting, but for 80 fucking dollars, and remember, Russell's asking for like $5.3 million. So really, Russell, what's 80 bucks compared to the payday you're going to get? He says, given the unexpected expense, well, it's not really unexpected, the marginal relevance of the document. So you agree it's relevant, so it's relevant. There we go. And the continued conduct of Matthew Hardin, plaintiff, is now valuing whether short-form appellate review may be appropriate. This right here is, do you understand what you're saying? Like, the short-form discovery thing is a thing. But Russell, what makes it like? Where are you using terms now? You're kind of inventing terms. Yeah. Maybe appropriate for this matter. To clarify, discover the issue and prevent further procedural enlargement. If you seek an appeal, there will be a massive procedural enlargement. Holy shit! It's going to be another year before this thing comes back if you do that. This consideration is not intended as defiance. It is. It is inherently entirely defiance. And it's not made in a good faith effort to resolve a narrow, reoccurring dispute through proper legal channels. Give them the goddamn papers! Just give them the papers, Russell! Fuck, I might give you $80 at this point just to get it done. Jesus. Jesus Christ. So procedural clarity before expenditure. The state court requires a payment of $80. I feel like I'm Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. It's like 3 fucking inches from your chest pile. 3 inches. Or is it 4 inches? I forget. 4 fucking inches from your chest pile. $80, Russell. $80 fucking dollars. Before releasing copies of sealed records. Until the court clarifies whether it's 4 inches. Okay, thank you. I forget. Whether the initial time has been granted, it would be premature to expend resources that still may be the subject sanction. Once again, you're going to get hammered again for it. Plaintiff is not refusing to comply. Yes, you are! You are refusing to comply. But seeks procedural clarity. I don't think you are here, man. Oh, my God. Yes. Yeah, like, go get some USAID money, man. Go claim your Somali and go move to Minnesota. Go fill out a You probably don't even have to move to Minnesota. Just claim your Somali. They'll write you a check. I bet. But anyways, the status report misstates plaintiff's position by asserting that Mr. Greer stated that he needed 30 days to provide the document. Plaintiff did not represent to the court that he would obtain or produce the document within 30 days. Rather, he requested that the court grant such time if extended production were granted. Characterizing a conditional request as an affirmative representation is inaccurate and misleading. That is entirely done by AI. This is entirely done by AI. Good job, AI, for doing this. USAID doesn't exist. Yeah, but the money's out there still. The money's out there. There's always money sloshing around in the pipes. Digital Lee says, is there an actual update to Frogan's portion of copyright? It's not given what Kaceytron has said and given the status of Frogan's case, I think it's easy to put together that Frogan's getting ready to surrender. She's getting ready to give up because we'll get to why. But I'm pretty sure that's happening. Plaintiff was recently, and we'll get to that though in a little bit. Good question. Thank you. Plaintiff was recently sanctioned for what the court perceived as mischaracterization of conduct. It would be inconsistent to allow defendants to engage. Yeah, this is, it's not my fault. I did nothing wrong. Hold on one second. All right. It would be inconsistent to allow defendants to engage in a comparable misstatement of plaintiff's filing without correction. Plaintiff respectfully asks the court to note this distinction and ensure the record accurately reflects the prior wording of his submission. Conclusion, he's acted in good faith, seeks clarification. Clarify whether the extension remains under consideration. And you note that I've been mischaracterized, and note that he's consistently acted in good faith. They've already said you haven't. You got sanctioned, Russell, now multiple times. You have been determined not to be acting in good faith. With substantial justification, except you haven't. Respectfully submitted, Russell Greer. Right. So that is where Russell came in. It was like, yeah. Sorry. It's hard not to do that. Sorry, guys. It's like Russell goes, all right. So moving on from here, guys, there is hold on, wait, is this? No, hold on. Did I mess up on the order here? No, I did not. I did not mess up on the order. Okay. Matthew Harden responds very quickly. We're going to go through these chat. So what did Matthew Harden say? He goes, and that's not true. So Russell Greer, Matthew Harden points out that Russell's already been told you can't do it this way under Rule 60. And this is what he's tried to do before, that these motions to reconsider are not proper and it's not the appropriate avenue for the relief. And, consistent with his pattern, he's ignored the court's express admonitions. And that alone is reason to deny the responses. And, this is only for purposes of completing the record. In the event this court elects to construe Russell Greer's motions if they're made under some other rule. And this is Matthew Harden here doing all this belt and suspenders law. He doesn't know what the court's going to do here, but he's not going to let Russell be the guy who tells the story because you can't trust Russell to tell the story properly. And what's a motion for reconsideration? Well, it can only be granted on an intervening change in a controlling law, the availability of no evidence, or the need to correct clear error and prevent injustice. None of that is there. Russell Greer doesn't argue about an intervening change in the law. There are not newly available evidence. And then he doesn't explain how there's clear error or how this is a manifest injustice. And once again, Russell just regurgitates the arguments he already made. And leaving those aside, Russell Greer's factual statements are simply wrong. And this just gets us to where just pointing out Russell Greer is fucking full of shit. And once again, Harden has to go back through this. Tayo Toys says, are we building a Tamiya or am I wasting my time here? We will be doing that later. Not yet. Probably in about 45 minutes. Russell Greer admitted that he had not read the standard protective orders. That Russell's like, I didn't read it. And just goes through here and Russell Greer now claims he actually read two separate versions. And he wrongly accused the undersigned counsel of violating. Remember, Russell Greer said they did it. The court's like, but you haven't proven it. But the pleading Russell cites in support of that motion was erroneously filed. The underlying motion for sanctions was served 3 months earlier. It relates to Russell Greer's open admission he had not read the order at the time Greer had made his relevant accusation. And that's true. You can't accuse people of things you have to be able to substantiate them. It says Russell read the relevant motion only after the sanctions were filed, which was pointed out that Greer had accused counsel of violating an order Greer not bothered to read. And then Greer declined to withdraw his false statement of fact, which once again, if he had done it, that would have taken care of a lot of the problems. Russell inaccurately states that his Steve comment was not sanctionable. And Russell relies on a Delaware case, which the opponent in 3 separate corporate offices had confirmed to an attorney a witness was dead, but it was really revealed the guy was alive. And Russell somehow says this is the same, except he made no efforts to inquire about the whereabouts and availability of this guy before telling him that the guy was eager to testify. Remember, it's his former teacher that he never talked to. So he had a falling out for years. And it says, well, the people in the case he cited made efforts to verify whether a witness was alive. Russel Greer admits he made no efforts at all to verify. He just said, hey, the guy was there. And so this just goes through all of this. And it says, once again, they want the motion to be denied. And alternatively, they request a hearing be held where they can address the purported evidence and once again correct the record. Signed by Matthew Hardin. And then we get to the big thing of the evening. Oh, hold on. I gotta help Russell because he chose his address. He gonna cry to YouTube. Russell Greer. All right, hold on. Here we go. Yes, perfect. We now get to this. Russel Greer, right before we get ready for Thanksgiving here. Yeah, I have to remove the fake address he doesn't live at anymore. I know that's the weird thing here, but whatever. I can't do anything about it. Phil says, okay, I'll wait. So he fought a plaintiff's redacted supplemental notice regarding a discovery order. Ooh, what is this? So plaintiff respectfully submits this sealed supplemental notice to provide the court with additional information relevant to a plaintiff's ability to comply with the court's prior discovery order concerning the 2018 Utah Protective Order record. Okay. Now, the way you're supposed to do this is you file this as an exhibit, as a separate information. You don't just slap it in the motion like that because that's not how you do it because now this is an unsigned motion. So, I mean, you could do all kinds of things to this because it's not done properly. And what got filed second is what should have been filed first. And this is where you make sure that you do it the right way, just for the sake of making sure there's never a problem. But when you seek leave to seal, you have to file that motion first. Now, like I said, there's ways you do this, and Russell didn't do any of that. Hold on here, chat. So again, I gotta make Russell not cry. So Russell filed a motion to leave to file under seal, which he did right. This part he did do right. You file it under seal. You ask for leave. So he did this part right, at least. So plaintiff respectfully moves for leave to file supplemental notice under seal. The notice contains private non-party information. What's private non-party information? If they're not a party, how is it relevant, Russell? How is it relevant? It doesn't make any sense. How is it relevant non-party information? I don't understand, Russell. I don't understand. Related to an ongoing personal matter and other sensitive details that are not appropriate for public disclosure. Plaintiff has previously documented a history of online harassment from the defendants and the public filing of material can result in further misuse or targeting. But why do you need private non-party information? You said you don't have any other witnesses introduced. You've already gone through all of that. How does this work? I don't understand, Russell. This makes no sense. He says, redaction is insufficient because the nature of the information cannot be meaningfully disclosed without undermining its purpose. When the request is narrowly tailored, sealing is necessary to protect the privacy interest. There's court. You should cite some case law along with this. So he will file a public redacted version and the proposed sealed version, highlighting the portions sought to be sealed. Plaintiff requests sealing for the duration of the case. So, like, after it's done, we can get it. For these reasons, Russell requests a file under seal. And this is what did he file? Da 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 da. There's a man who leads a life of danger. Secret drooling man, retarded drooling man. You know he'll take a hooker to Olive Garden, but he's too retarded to understand. Bow, bow. But yes, Russell the secret agent. I don't know what's going to happen here. This is it doesn't make any fucking sense to me, chat. At all. At all what's happening here. At all. The redacted text is just the lyrics for his new Taylor Swift song. Could be. Could be. It could be the results of his, like... It's going to be like, you've got AIDS! It's his AIDS test. He's pause loaded, chat! Clip it, auto-tune it, release it, yes. Listen, ladies, he could have you redacted too. Oh, yes. Project Gooner is stating PPP is a turkey this season. Oh, well, we'll get to that in a bit. But anyways, this is just, I don't know, like, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? There's not a whole lot you can do with that, guys. There's not a whole lot you can do with that. I don't understand what you can do. So, I just don't know what you could do. I don't know what you can do. So Matthew Harden does a smart thing here. He comes out, you know, it's just, you know, as Dr. Dre said, you know, you take two guns, you spin them around his fingers, you kick the swinging doors in, and you start gunslinging. That's how you handle this. So Matthew Harden gets up there, and just in response to this mental retardation from the court, he just starts dropping. Once again, you have to respond to this hammer dog shit because you can't let it stand. You can't let it stand. Put this on the Wheel of Fortune. I want to buy some vowels. Well, Dennis, remember, N does not cost you any. You don't have to buy the letter N. I'd like to buy the letter J. It's like, what are your consonants, Sean? J and W and S. Would you like to buy a vowel? Yes, Pat. I'd like E. Anyways, this is the notice of inaccurate certificate of service. So what do they point out here? They point out that there something is appended to ECF number 85 is inaccurate. And once again, Russell wants to play this game. When you play this game of trying to live inside of the rules, then fine, we're going to do the rules. You are going to get dicked hard by the rules. And Matthew Harden will do that to you. Russell Greer did not serve either the motion for leave to file under seal or the accompanying sealed redacted supplemental notice on November 23rd, 2025. Undersigned received those documents only via the clerk's system when they uploaded on November 24th. The certificate of service is therefore inaccurate and falsely accelerates the time frame for defendants to respond. Russell did not serve these documents upon the undersigned counsel in unredacted form, and that's a big problem. You can't serve documents in unredacted form. Well, eventually, like, how are you supposed to object to them? How are you supposed to object to something? You don't just serve it all like this. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Like, how is he supposed to object? The defendants have no intelligent way to prepare a response. The motion itself is devoid of facts and conclusory. The accompanying sealed document cannot be used to evaluate the motion because Russell apparently intends to keep it secret not only from the public, but also his opponents, who might call into question any facts or arguments contained therein. Russell really does think, oh, I forgot to show I'm reading off of. Sorry, chat. Sorry. This is the notice of inaccurate service. Sorry. There you go. The defendants object to the court considering Greer's motion while the defendants are unable to adequately respond to it. And especially reject as certificate is erroneous. And you guys might say, wow, this is getting very, very like persnickety and all that. Yeah, well, once you start acting like a dick, that's what happens at the law. Everybody gets a little melanated and we all start picking at what you do and don't do. You got to be in. If you start fucking around, then people are going to start holding you to be inch perfect. And they will fuck you for it if you don't do it right. So they request either the court strike Russell's sealed filing, or require him to reserve the motion and the accompanying document and permit them the proper timeline to respond. So it's starting to get funny now. Like it's weird and funny. It's weird and funny. Now, immediately with that, with the next thing we get to is the last part of this, and this is Russell's response. This is Russell's response to things. And from here, I better not. Once again, I almost shared it again, Russell. I almost shared your address that you don't live at anymore. They would find out what kind of little shit-filled crack shack it is. Nobody would drive over to 123 Homo Lane and look for you. That would be really bad. That would be really bad, Russell. That would be very bad. So Russell made a response, and this is once again just a mirror from Russell. Plaintiff's response. Russell can't. He's like a woman. He's like a woman. He's always got to respond to something. He's always got to respond. Oh, who's messaging me? Oh. So Russell Greer respectfully submits this brief in response. Russell served the motion to leave via the court email and in turn the ECF filing system. That's not how that works, Russell. That's not how that works at all. Nope. Plaintiff acknowledges that he did not understand the sealed supplemental notice required separate service on opposing counsel, in addition to filing under seal. Okay. Upon reading defendant's notice this morning, plaintiff immediately served counsel with the sealed document, marking the email attorney's eyes only. You figured out how to comply, Russell. You figured out how to comply. Service has now been fully cured. There was no intent to withhold any filing. Plaintiff has now provided both the motion and sealed version directly to counsel. Plaintiff has no objection to defendants receiving their ordinary response time under the local rules. Well, yeah, and signed Russell Greer. Mine. So we don't have it yet. We don't have an answer, chat, but what is in that email? What is that redacted document? We don't know. We don't know because it hasn't been disclosed yet. Oh. I mean, could it be some nice fan fiction where Russell Greer and Null, he shipped himself and Joshua Moon together forever into some very, very, very finely and very tasteful gay erotica? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how that works, chat, but it could be. It could be. Maybe it is. We don't know. We don't know what's there. Tactical Fumble says, what happens if Russell Greer's brain would explode? If the redacted he actually put the unredacted document on the internet. Oh my God, that would have been so funny. I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet. Eric Foam says, Jersh and Russ together forever. I don't even want to think about that fan fiction. You have to think about it. Suffer. But anyways, that's where we are there. Russell has a secret, and he's like, no, I'm not telling you. But then everybody's like, you have to tell me. He's like, okay, I'm telling you my secret. I still don't know what it is, guys. I wish I knew. I wish I fucking knew, but I don't know right now. I don't know right now. Oh. All right. Let's see here. Anonymous says, Greer attempted to enlist a woman of the night from Ohio for his Nevada brothel. Yes. Yes, he did. The sinful puppeteer says, what will it take to finally put this broken-jawed fucker in his place? I mean, it's kind of like how... it's kind of like how an army collapses. The German army in 1945, very much this way. Very slowly, and then all of a sudden it's going to happen. It's very much, it's going to descend upon us like a thunderbolt, to quote Sun Tzu. I love that quote, descend upon your enemies like a thunderbolt. But it's very much like that, or like the Ukrainian army. Like, it's going to start falling apart, like a little bit, and all of a sudden, bam! It's gone. So at some point here, it's going to happen it's going to happen very slowly, and then all of a sudden, just like going broke. It started very slowly, and then all of a sudden. Maddie B says, rip Erica. Yes, rest in peace, Erica. Gone too soon. Jefferson Post says, Russell Greer's face won't be the only thing stuck open. Very true. Very true. The sinful puppeteer is saying, I bet he's seething about how the K-pop Demon Hunter ladies got famous overnight like he fantasized he would have had Taylor Swift heard his song. Well, Russell Greer actually thinks like if he played his songs for Taylor Swift, she would come up to him and say, Russell, come with me. And, she'll sit, it would be very much like the reverse of the song. It'd be like, marry me, Romeo, you'll never have to be alone. That's what Russell Greer thinks is going to happen. She'll be like, I love your songs, Russell. You're so smart. You're my muse. Come with me on the plane. And Russell will go, yeah. And she'll say, Russell, we can pay. I'll have a personal assistant just to carry around a drool towel for you. Like, that's really what he thinks is going to happen. That's what he thinks is going to happen here. All he has to do is let her hear him play. Tittle Connoisseur says, what if Russell Greer self-identifies as legally correct? Is that the court then required to validate his identification? Oh my God. No. Good sir. All right. Switching gears. He's really, I'm a Swiftie. I'm not really a Swiftie. Like, their Taylor Swift songs I really liked. And like Blank Space is a phenomenal song. But like the stuff she's done lately is all garbage and gay. But like I said, Blank Space I think was probably her high water mark. I really do. Yeah, Tay-Tay's now getting dicked by Travis Kelce. I know. Russell's just, he'd sit there watching it just happen. He's like, me. Oh. All right, guys. Now moving on to the Ethan Kline H3 lawsuits against Hassan's hoes. Charlie had his angels. Hassan has his hoes. And by hoes, I mean denims, once again. Who names themselves after a bunch of fucking jeans? My name's after pants. Okay. Frogan, fuck her, And then Kaceytron, just these brilliant powerhouses of thought. Now from here, remember, these guys helped copyright infringe Ethan Kline's content nuke about Hassan Piker and how Hassan Piker loves to put the ball sack of any Chinese official or Hezbollah or any other terrorist organization in his mouth because apparently he thinks that's based. Well, they aired his stuff and Ethan Kline sued them for copyright infringement, these three. And yes, in Denims' suit, the suit against Denims is where we're having the battle for the identities of the H3 snark mods. And remember, guys, I think this is about Ethan Kline. going after these people to then go after the mods and maybe Hassan or whoever else he can. Remember, these people called children's services on him. Skulls were shipped to his house. They fucked with him. And now Ethan Kline's on his Lex Luthor arc. And I'm here to see it. It's a vendetta ride at this point. So the first update here is in Frogan's case. This is kind of where some things have happened, and we need to cover these a little bit because it's been a little while. So what happened to Frogan? Well, Frogan had her lawsuit, and remember, Frogan lives in LA, and they figured out where Frogan lives. It's like she actually lives like in a very nice apartment. And anyway, so this is filed in the United States District Court, Central District of California. And what do we know here? So it's TED Entertainment versus Morgan Kamal Majid, I don't know. Also known as Frogan. And from here, this is back on August 5th, this got filed. And it was an order granting the extension of deadlines for the defendant to respond to the complaint. Because remember, when there's a complaint, you have 21 days to respond. Unless there's an agreement to extend it out further. So there's a deadline that got extended. So what happened, there was a stipulation was granted by the court. The court said, cool, whatever you guys want to do. You do this here. Are you sure Sean isn't Frogan without the towel? Yes. But anyways, so what happened, the Frogan's deadline to respond is extended from August 4th to October 3rd. Okay. And Frogan can respond to the complaint with any responsive pleading under Federal Rule 12, meaning motions to dismiss, all of them with the exception of contesting service under Rules 12B, 4, and 5. So she could do 12B1, subject matter jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction, failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted, failure to join a necessary party. Those are things she can challenge. She can file a motion to dismiss on, or she can just respond. So she had until October 3rd. Well, here's what's happened since then, guys. And we're on Court Listener here. We're going to go scroll down here and just so you guys can see. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue here. That's it. That's all that's happened here. So what does this mean? Well, it means nothing else has been put on the record. Or at least nothing has been uploaded by the clerk. Now, here's the deal. It's not like, oh, well, they forgot about it. They're getting to it. No. She had till October 5th. I'm sorry, October 3rd. We're now almost to December 3rd. We're almost 90 days late. Now, some of you might say, well, wouldn't she automatically go into default? No. Because here's how default works. Ethan Kline has to motion the court for that. And he has to do filings for that. He hasn't done them, so it's not automatic. So technically, Frogan could respond tomorrow and send it in, and if Ethan doesn't object, then if Ethan doesn't object in a timely manner, the court will deem that you waived that objection. You waived that issue. But Ethan would have done it already. I'm sorry. You're right, Kay. 60 days. Yeah, October, November. Sorry. Yeah. So right now, nothing's happened. And this is where somebody on the forums brought it up. And it was a very good question. They're saying, well, wait, maybe stuff got filed under seal. And this is where I bring up Russel Greer's docket again. When you bring stuff up under seal, it says you have to file it as a sealed document. And this is, and I'm not doing this to make fun of that person. He asked a very good question. Yeah, stuff filed under seal appears. So what does this mean? Well, Ethan hasn't gone forward after nearly 60 days and filed motion for default. Frogan's attorneys haven't filed for more time. So what's going on? I mean, if I had to guess, Frogan is working out terms with Ethan because there's no incentive tactically to default and not respond. And there's no reason for attorneys not to do that unless something's already being worked out. If there wasn't anything being worked out, well, why would Ethan let them keep going here? And Ethan's not a dummy, but more importantly, his attorney isn't a dummy. His attorney's demonstrated he can be a nice little shark when he needs to be. And here's the thing. You don't even have to be the most ruthless attorney in the world. You have to be Harvey Specter to know after October 3rd, already a month's gone by, almost 2 months have gone by. At some point, you file the damn motions. Like, even practice with regular, the average attorney. At some point, if you don't fucking do it, they're going to file. And I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know what they're waiting on, except Frogan probably gave them something. Tiger is saying Frogan probably gave them a decent settlement offer. Not even an opening offer. It doesn't matter. If you're in the middle of negotiations, that doesn't suspend the deadlines unless you go to the court, which means they should have gone to the court and said, Your Honor, we need time. We'd like to do mediation. The court would probably say, no, respond, and then get your ass into mediation. But they haven't asked for anything. So I don't think there was settlement discussions. I think they had those well in advance, and right now there's already been an agreement. But also, why wouldn't you bring that up? Unless there's an issue about timing it so he could sandbag Denham's and Kaceytron. It's not really clear yet, but this idea, I mean, the only thing I can think of is there's some sort of agreement where Frogan's snitching people out at this point. Something's happened to Frogan's case. We don't know yet exactly, though. It'll be hilarious, though, if she's given up everybody. It'll be hilarious if she's given up everyone. So that has happened here. So Frogan's case, once again, guys, remember, for Frogan's case, something's up. Something's up. The game is afoot. The game is afoot. Her cooperation was promised Ethan Kline 3,000 years ago, as is prophesized. Oy vey, it's all very Talmudic. Very Talmudic. I don't think that's the case, Chad. I don't think that's the case. Now, in exchange for all of that, on the other side of things here, Kaceytron put out a video. And she put out a video about the Ethan Kline lawsuit. And here's Kaceytron. Here she goes.
Okay. So, first of all, my intention of this statement is not to blame Ethan Kline or accuse him of malicious conduct. So, please refrain from making any hateful posts about him. If he believes he has a copyright claim, he is entitled to pursue it. My intention is to.
So she's reading off a script. I wonder who approved part of this script.
To shed some light on the financial strain this is causing me and my family, and also why I made a settlement offer to Ethan. So when this lawsuit began, it was unclear how myself and my family were going to survive this. It is only due to the unbelievable generosity of others that I have been able to afford the devastating financial effects of this lawsuit. I will forever be grateful for the kindness and support that I've received during this dark time in my life. We have raised just over $49,000 on my GoFundMe. I have also contributed another $5,000 from various marathons and fundraising, bringing the total up to $54,000. All of these funds were deposited into a separate bank account that I opened exclusively for legal expenses. None of these funds have been used for any personal expense. They have been used exclusively for my legal fees. These funds are not going to last much longer, given the needs of the litigation and the work that is being done to defend against Ethan Kline's lawsuit. In September, I made a settlement offer to Ethan for $17,500. This offer was publicly revealed by Ethan to his Instagram.
As it should. $17,500. That's all you're going to offer, Kaceytron? That's all you're going to offer? That's all, like, that's what you're going to offer him? I mean, like, this is horse shit because she raised almost $60,000. She raised almost $60,000 for this. You know, like, but oh, I'm only giving him a little bit of it. Yeah. Like, you know, the fucking gall here of this hoe. Doesn't matter. Like, you were going to make a payday. Oh, no, it's a payday for Ethan and his attorneys, sweetheart. Nobody had their food stamps taken away. Nobody had their food stamps taken away. That didn't happen yet.
I cannot afford to fail them. I simply want this nightmare to be over so that I can go back to providing my family with my full support. Ethan Kline is suing me for $150,000, which is the maximum damages for malicious copyright infringement. I believe it is highly unlikely that a court would find me liable for copyright infringement at all, and certainly not malicious copyright infringement. My offer was tied to the maximum damages for normal copyright infringement, which has a maximum damage of $30,000. Considering it is unlikely there are any damages at all that I could have caused, even if I am found liable for copyright infringement, my offer of $17,500 felt very generous. For me, that is a lot of money, and it would have.
For you, that's a very generous offer because you're poor. For Ethan Kline, who hired, you know, his Jewish hatchet man lawyer for the lulz and probably literally burned a real hundo to film that movie. Like, you're like, your fucking hoe tears are not gonna cut it. Are not gonna cut it. Yeah.
Have come directly from my own pocket. On this,
no, it wouldn't have come from your own pocket. It would have come from the money you raised. Unless you're telling me, oh, you blew that money, it's all gone now. Which, if you did, holy shit, you got hosed by your lawyer.
No, I want to clarify that any donations that I have received are being used for my legal defense costs against Ethan, nothing else.
Yeah,
These funds will not be a part of any settlement offer. In the event that we were
sure
to settle, I will take responsibility for any
bullshit
settlement, and any remaining funds would go towards the remaining parties that are also being sued by Ethan. I have no intention to keep any money from this fundraiser.
Bullshit.
For any personal use whatsoever.
Bullshit.
If we are unable to reach a settlement soon, this could stretch all the way to December of next year and cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in lawyers' fees through the end of the trial.
Yes, you might have to suffer. This might be about making you suffer. Ethan Kline may not want to accept your deals because he wants you to suffer. Yes. 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 All of it went into her volcano bags. Does she do the bags or does she just do the the bong rips? Why doesn't Hassan just pay for them all? Yeah, he should just call up his Chinese handlers and say, like, hey, can I have some Chinese money? And can I have some yuan? Oh, she does the bags? Okay. I know the Smoke and Scan guy does the bags. Those are cool. They're neat to watch. I would never want to do it. Michael Gilkey's volcano bags are pretty great. I guess. I'm not a big weed guy.
To be clear, I don't make anywhere near this kind of money. Like most Americans, I live paycheck to paycheck. I do not have any personal savings. Over the years, I've been stretched very thin because
I'm sure you've been stretched out very thin multiple times. Then why were you playing these games? Why did you fuck around like this? You tried to play some reindeer games, and look what happened, honey.
help support multiple family members. I want to make it clear to Ethan, I will gladly set aside my ego and do whatever is necessary and consistent with my principles to resolve this matter and get back to what matters most to me.
What are your principles exactly, though? That's kind of an issue here.
Helping my family in this devastating financial climate. I feel deeply guilty even asking for community funding during such difficult times because I realize I'm asking
Bullshit.
for help from
Bullshit.
people who are also facing financial hardships. Since this lawsuit was announced, it has resulted in a barrage of hate and harassment that has been incredibly mentally taxing every day across all.
If you ride into battle, baby, like this, it's kind of like, especially somebody like her, she should know better. But it's very much like, when Grifty was out there standing for Nick and he got doxxed, and he's all upset about it. And I'm like, if you ride into battle, man, you might catch a fucking arrow. Like Kaceytron rode out onto the battlefield, and she's now shocked that she caught an arrow. Like how the fuck? Like how do you not expect that to happen? I guess.
All of my social media, I am relentlessly reminded that my life could be ruined, that myself and my family could wind up living on the streets, that Ethan is going to foreclose on my home.
Okay, that's not true because every state has homestead exemption acts of some sort or another. And she's in Missouri, right? Missouri homestead like they all have homestead exemptions. It's the reason why OJ moved to Florida is because in Florida you can have millions of dollars protected in assets. But every state has some sort of option there where they don't just take your fucking house. Now, eventually they can put liens and stuff on it, but you can't be forced out of your home and onto the street. So, yeah, she's laughed and mocked online. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She bagged on Asmongold after his mom died. Really? Oh, well, fuck her then. Fuck her even harder.
All realities that feel very real to me right now, and all being used by hateful onlookers to push me into killing myself. The thought of dealing.
Oh no, it's the trolls, chat. She's DSP maxing the trolls.
With the constant doxing, threats to my life, and harassment for another year is extremely dark. This treatment wears on a person, and it has left me feeling extremely drained, isolated, and depressed.
She's depressed!
Moving forward, I'll continue to provide any updates on any future developments. It may end up being a long road, and I'm going to be working hard to keep up with the legal fees every month for as long as is necessary if this litigation is not settled soon.
How are you going to be able to keep up with it?
I've changed my GoFundMe goal to better reflect the cost of this sort of litigation. Again, these funds are exclusively for my lawyer fees. This is not money that will go towards any sort of settlement or to any of my personal expenses. Please consider donating or even signing up for a monthly donation. Check out any of my links below. You can also support by tuning into any of my...
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck her. I don't care. Kaceytron wants out. Now, here's the thing. You want out, but if Ethan Kline, all he has to say is, nope, I'm not accepting that offer. Fuck you. We're going to trial. I don't want to go to trial. It's too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. That happens. That happens sometimes. Well, wait, we want to settle. We don't. Plaintiffs don't have to settle. They can say, fuck it, we're going to trial. We're going to ball. And you're like, but I want to settle. And they look at you like Sam Gerard and go, I don't care. It's like, well, there you go. Yeah. You climbed on the roller coaster. It's not stopping. Yeah. I think she offered him $17K and he said no, correct. But this is more recent where Kaceytron is like, they want out and they're getting desperate. And Frogan's, and here's the thing, Kaceytron is visibly desperate. And Frogan, it's just, you know, it's like in Margin Call when Jeremy Irons is there. He's like, I'm standing here and all I hear is silence. Frogan's gone radio silent, and that's got to be making people nervous because they don't even know what's happening. Her and Russel Greer should get together. He can help her earn some extra money. Oh, $17K, I would say, does not even cover legal costs so far. Whoa, God, no. They've all burned more than $17,000. Ethan definitely. Each one of these girls is probably burned because they hired like higher end attorneys, and the problem is too in LA. Because I've talked to Matthew Hart about this. Like he's trying to engage local counsel out there, and it's like a minimum like $800 to $1,000 an hour for shit. You know, like here in Ohio, it'd be like $300-400 an hour. Would be probably more in line with things. So it's already twice as much as where I'm at and a lot of places in the country are at. And it's just burning through the money there. EDWREP says Frogan's not taking it seriously. Yeah, but then Ethan Kline would have taken it seriously. So that tells me something's being worked on. Yes, the music just stopped and all I hear is silence. So let's see. What is Trump wants says, are there options for free representation in this kind of case? Nope. You're not entitled. Like legal aid might help you, but they're not entitled. They're not obligated to. Public defenders won't get involved in this. You might be able to get some nonprofit help, but there's no automatic right to an attorney here. So they're on their own. In the private world, you're on your own, and that's the rough part about it. Yeah. I know. Ethan already offered a time to settle, and they said, I know, but at this point, she's like, please, Ethan, don't. I just want to settle. He's like, sorry. That ship sailed. He's just like, you know, he's going to smile and murder while he smiles. To quote the great Richard III. But yeah, he doesn't have to accept the offers. Let's see here, trying to catch up on everything. Funny thing is, I don't even think there was a margin call in that movie. I don't think so. Michael Gelke saying, wait, you can pro se sue people and they have to lawyer up for 6 to 18 months? Or in some cases, if you're the farms, over 5 years to deal with your crap? Yes. Bella says, I'm late, but did we go over the article about the accusation of war crimes? Who got accused of war crimes? I don't know. No, I don't know what's been accused of war crimes here. She should file a Frank's motion, yeah. I don't know. Guys, I don't even know what you're talking about. What happened? Oh, Healy got accused of... Oh, Pete Heck... What? What did he get accused of doing? What is the government accused of doing now? I mean, they probably did do something, but specifically, what are they accused of? Yeah, Russell Greer's doing war crimes. He drooled. He was with the hooker and he kissed her on the neck and it drooled everywhere. It's like, ah! Oh. All right, so... Chugi Show is saying, Clyde declares all grays null and void. Yes. And digitally, I hope that kind of fills you in. Like, something's up. Because Frogan hasn't responded and Ethan Kline hasn't sought default. So something's happening. We just don't know what right now. It'll be very interesting there. Does the judge even read these filings? Yes, the judge does read them. Or the magistrate's reading them. Yeah, somebody does. Somebody has to. Well, their clerk is reading all this shit and summarizing it for them. I love your Will Stancil thing. Spughead says, some say, his closing arguments are delivered mid-case. Well, if you're a defense attorney, you can do that. You can deliver your you meant opening arguments, but never mind. Some say he can draft legal briefs at 200 miles an hour. All we know is that he's called the Stig. Spuggun for £2 sterling. The King Sterling. Says accountability equals women's kryptonite. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Let's see here. Oh, the idea is, he supposedly... Oh, so when they were striking the Go Fast boats, they were, like, double tapping them? Oh. Oh, they're... okay, so hold on. The Washington Post has an article saying DevGru was going in and, like... Oh, that just sounds like... Okay, so a striking the survivors. Okay, that... Yeah, I don't know. Somebody would have said something about that. But if this really was the accusation, they said DevGru, SEAL Team 6 guys in, to like, as they're in the water swimming, Porque! It's some guy from like Gold Squadron sitting in a helicopter with his SR-25 just going to people. No fucking way in hell is that happening. That Tom Clancy doesn't even write that shittily. Oh no. Let me see here. No, that's what's happening there. Let me see. I think that's it. But yeah. They supposedly struck the boats twice after they're disabled. Like, I guess. I don't know. Everett Scott said, did he buy a Winchester 97 shotgun? That's funny. Although the bigger issue was, that and the butcher blade, the sawtooth bayonets. John McCain that was charged with treason. Yeah, well, John McCain almost sunk the USS Forrestal by himself. Was his crowning achievement. Tim Kennedy writes that shitty, though, yes. Porque no los dos tap. I don't know what that means. Obama started the double tap policy. Yes, he did. Yes, a double tap will get you charged where you do, and as they fall down on the ground. But a controlled pair of just, yes, that is A-okay. Yes, it is. DK Cripple saying, are we doing models tonight? Yes, we are. We're going to paint some stuff up. I want to do a little bit of experimentation, and also, more importantly, from a couple months ago, I told you we were going to start looking at trying to do like backgrounds for different things. So like this guy here, like putting scenery together for him. And if you guys don't know, this is what that turned out last night. Check out how fucking gnarly that is. Look at that shit. We trying the reds out on the black and purple background. And look how that came out. Actually pretty subdued. Not like super Warhammery, but I like it. So I'm going to try this with to make blocks or brick. Because I mean, those are very brick-like colors. So we're going to do that. We're also going to work on a painting up a character or painting up a figurine. Stabby printed out, resin printed. It's a nice guy in his little SS smock and helmet. He looks so cute. We're going to do that too tonight. Let's see here. Let's see. I played Tank Mechanic Simulator. That game's a lot of fun putting together World War II tanks. Do you have to hose out all the goo after somebody dies? Oh. Is this an 88 on the... This is not a Tiger tank. This is a Ferdinand or an Elephant. This has an 88 in it, yes, but this is not that. Although that is not the... it's a long-barreled 88. Outer Pangeas is very nice. Hey, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Guys, watch Crapcast. You get the chance. The OG of all that out there. Oh, it was a joke about misidentifying Tan. All right, well. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, that is kind of it for tonight. This is going to be a short show. Just wanted to give those updates and get it out there. So we are going to head over to the models channel, and we're going to do some model stuff. Like I said, we're going to get some painting done. We're going to hang out, watch the casino a little bit. It's Friday night chat. We had the holiday. Let's get back into the groove, kind of like get back into things, get ready, and get ready to move on. Get ready to move on here, and we're going to do that. Also, guys, I want to say thank you all for coming out watching the Connor Grubb trial. I know some of you probably were like, it's kind of boring, but I do appreciate you guys coming out to take a look at that because it was a lot of fun covering that. And hold on here. Oh, I know why I can't find it because I didn't start it yet. Hold on, I got to set that up yet. Oh, hold on here. What time is it? 9:49. We'll set this for 9:55 because everything's actually all out, chat. And you're like, oh, it's never ready. Don't you worry. This is actually ready tonight. Don't worry. I promise. We're ready tonight on this one. Do. All right. So I will see you guys in 1 second, and we'll get this rolling. So. There we go. There we go. Now we're all set. Which of Kaceytron is living in Missouri pays California rates for legal counsel. No wonder she needs more. Well, the thing is for Kaceytron, she's out in Missouri. So she's in the Western District of Missouri, so she doesn't need that. But her attorney is one of the people representing, I think, Frogan. Or no, representing Denims. So he's probably paying a massive fucking rate there. So, anyways, guys, I will see you guys over on the model stream. And just remember till next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Unless you're retarded like Frogan and Kaceytron and Denims, and then you're just extremely liable for copyright infringement. So, good night, chat. You guys all take care, and I'll see you guys over on the model bench. Good night.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops. Even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. But please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy that Kaden yelled?